Hello, 15 Minutes family. I am Fuzz Martin, and this is 15 Minutes with Fuzz, a show about the good stuff that's happening here in Washington County, Wisconsin. This is episode number 52, and it's a weekly podcast. So on paper, I didn't miss a week, though I think I had 1 week where I skipped because I was sick, but then I did 2 in another week to make up for it. But you know what? Who's counting, right? We did 52 episodes, and here we are. And this week, Jeff Szukalski from Jeff Spirits on Main joins me to talk about something that we're all thinking about here in the last week of July, the West Bend Christmas Parade. There's actually a lot that goes into keeping the Christmas parade going each year, and the parade committee's annual Jingle Bell Open is coming up. But Jeff and I are going to talk about some really interesting history about the parade and how they've kept it going all these years despite some challenges. And with that, here are 15 minutes on the history of the West Bend Christmas Parade with Jeff Szukalski from Jeff Spirits on Main, right here on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. All right, Jeff, you're officially the final guest of my first season. This is the 52nd episode, and I haven't missed a week, which is surprising to me because I was certain I was going to miss a week in this first year. But thank you for coming in today.
And Fuzz, thank you for doing this 15 minutes because this is a great idea.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're here recording this episode at the end of July, yet we're going to be talking about the West Bend Christmas Parade. This has been something that's been very important to you. How did you get involved with this?
Well, the West Bend Christmas Parade in 2002 was taken over by the West Bend Christmas Parade Committee.
Okay.
Before that, it has a long history to it, but at that point, it was almost failing. There was no money for it. They were talking about just canceling it. It was being run by the chamber, and the chamber couldn't afford to do it anymore.
Sure.
So there were 2 different groups that got together. One group being myself, Robbie Robrand from Bob Fish, and Steve Sicantelli and Josie Minsky at the time from the West Bend News. We decided we were going to try to do whatever we could. We were going to start a golf outing for it and try to raise money for it. And the News was going to throw some money at it right away, along with Jeff Spirits, along with Bob Fish, to get it off the ground for that year. At the same time, we were trying to take it over, not because we wanted to, just because we needed to.
Sure.
Mike Huzar, Mary Huzar, and the West Bend Downtown Restaurant Association was also worried about it losing it, and they didn't want it to go away.
Mm-hmm.
So they were organizing at the same time. Well, we both found out about each other. We got a meeting together. We combined our forces, and that's how we became the West Bend Christmas Parade Committee.
And that's how you guys saved the parade from going away.
Yep. So we are the longest running parade right now.
So how did West Bend become the longest running parade? Because it seems like a feat. You would think that some of the bigger cities may have had these longer.
Right. I'm surprised too, but the longest running parade before us was the Milwaukee Christmas Parade. Started in 1927 by Schuster's, turned into Gimbels.
Okay.
Longest running parade until, what was it, last year or the year before?
Okay.
That they finally went defunct. They couldn't do it anymore. And they were struggling for years and years and years, also finding sponsors to run it. And finally they ran out of sponsors.
Talking about that sponsor money and those kind of things, people might be surprised on what it takes to run a parade. Can you tell us kind of what goes into that and why so many funds are needed for something like that?
It all depends on the amount of in-kind donations that we get each year. So the parade fluctuates on how much money it costs. But if we have to pay for everything, it's around $20,000 to $25,000.
Okay.
Paying for the different music groups, paying for some of the marching groups, paying for the permits. It's about a $20,000 parade.
When did you say you joined this? How long ago was that?
2002, we took it over.
Okay. So I would have been, I was at the radio station for about 2 years, and I remember this being a story that it was potentially going away. People were up in arms over it, but every time I've noticed, typically there'll be people who are up in arms over it and complaining about it. And then there's groups of people like you that jump in and get it done. So it's great that you guys kept it going. So who else is on the committee that runs that with you now? Today?
There's a long list.
Is there? Okay.
Okay. So The Hussars, Mike and Mary and Dan Martin. Matt Rollinger is on it. Toby Netko, Sue Garman, Robbie Robrandt, Gene Robrandt, Josie Brzezinski, my daughter Sarah, my son Brian, Chris and Jim Merkel, Emily and Andrew Martin, people that helped us set it up in the past people. Steve Siccantelli, like I said, Mike Hartwell, Kevin O'Meara helped us with financials at the very beginning. Harry Fine used to run the parade, the music for the parade at the very beginning. There was also Mary Gamberdinger, Teresa Ferbinger was part of the beginning. Heather Rogie was part of the beginning. Julie Sears from Janulis was part of the beginning. Carol Klotz from Klotz's Piggly Wiggly was part of the beginning. So that's about the whole list on who started it and who's still involved in it.
It's a big, substantial list. Why was it so important for you to keep the parade running?
Family, small town, just, I drive down the parade route before the parade starts, bringing the honor guard up and seeing the people celebrating, people going to their same spot every year, people going to the same restaurant. I mean, it's just a big thing, and it's just the start of the holiday season, and it's all about family. Yeah.
Speaking of that, so when is the parade each year? I'm forgetting which week that is.
It's always the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And the way it started, can we go into that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. The way it started was in what did I say? It started 1952. They started the parade, and it was the downtown businesses like Marv Hussar and Paul Lemler and Fritz Weiss, Donnie Sager from Sager's
Apparel,
and Harry Chambeau. They started it, and they did it on the Sunday after Thanksgiving because the Milwaukee Christmas parade was on Saturday.
That's right. Okay.
So they got all the floats from the Milwaukee Christmas parade cheap by coming up here right after that parade was over with. And that's how it all kicked off to begin with. That lasted for quite a while until they started tearing apart the downtown, and they restructured on how the downtown was. And that's how they put those flower beds and such.
Sure.
And in 82 was the first hiccup where we were going to lose the Christmas parade. And Dave Wolf from Dick's Pizza, he took it over. And he moved it to Highway 33, and it went down to Dick's Pizza on 33 and 18th. He kept on working with it until 86 when the chamber took it over. And during that time, he still supported the Wisconsin Badger, part of the Wisconsin Badger band to come up here and play in it. The chamber started the Kris Kringle Open from Betty Pearson. She ran that to support it. They ran into financial difficulties later on. And then in 2002, we took it over, and we've been fundraising for it ever since. We do the Jingle Bell Open to raise money for it. The Johnson family, Johnson Bus, gave us a large donation at the very beginning for seed money. So between that, some autograph sessions at Hussars, and the Jingle Bell Open, those are the only fundraisers we've ever had for the for the Christmas parade.
Now, what goes into running the parade each year? Like, when do you guys start planning and things like that?
It doesn't start until late because it has to do with a lot of high school people.
Yep.
And they don't go back to work until the middle of August. We've got letters out and stuff like that, but like Matt Rollinger takes care of the bands right now, and he contacts all the music departments in the area and tries to get the bands to join in. He has done a great job. Harry Fine did a great job before him, but until the schools and the churches and everybody are back in session, there's not much we can do. So it starts mid-August, beginning of September, but it's hot and heavy until
right up
until Sunday morning.
And you guys also have a bunch of volunteers and stuff that help out as well, right?
Correct. We got about 25 volunteers that for the day of the parade help that out.
So helping out with like lineups and getting people where they need to go and those kind of things.
And watching the intersections. And last year was a little bit more.
Oh yeah. The things that happen in other communities.
Yes. But the city and the town and the highway department and the parks department all chipped in, made it very safe, changed changed the philosophy of how we're going to run the parade. And it was a very comfortable parade last year.
Great. The Jingle Bell Open is coming up. So this is airing starting on Monday, the 25th. Now that's coming up that weekend on Saturday, the 1st. Is that still available for people to sign up?
Monday the 1st.
Oh, Monday the 1st.
Monday the 1st.
Yes. So Monday the 1st. Can people still sign up for that? Is that full or?
You can still sign up for it. We are at Honeycore this year.
Okay.
We are somewhere between 130 and 160 golfers we'll have.
Nice.
Keith Navante from Cousins is doing the lunch. Every year we've had a great turnout. Every year we've had great weather.
Yep, knock on wood.
But we've never canceled, and we've raised a lot of money. Our goal is to have enough money in the coffers that anybody can take over this parade, and they're never going to have a financial difficulty.
Great.
We're getting older.
Yeah.
As new people come in, they won't have to worry about the finances. They'll just have to worry about getting the floats on the road.
Yeah, and I think with any nonprofit and any organization or event, that's always the hardest part is the financials. The getting people to put boots on the ground can still be difficult, but it's not as difficult as getting hands in the pockets.
Yeah, and you're involved in nonprofits also. It's like, it's not the fun part of the job.
No, it's not. But that is the most important part, I think, for keeping them going. So
yes,
if somebody wanted to sign up for the golf outing or a business or things, how can they do so right now?
They can go right to westbendchristmasparade.com, go to the JBO registration, and you can sign up right there.
Very good. And if people want to volunteer, is the same place, go to westbendchristmasparade.org, I think, right? .com or one of the two?
I think it's .com.
Okay.
They can sign up for the Jingle Bell to help out there. They can do that, or call Jeff Spirits, because I run the Christmas Parade golf outing.
Okay.
So I'd be organizing that, tell them where to go.
Okay.
Otherwise, if they want to help out with the Christmas Parade itself, they can call Mike Huzar at Huzars.
Okay.
And they can also sign up online on the contacts and ask questions there.
That sounds great. Well, Jeff, you do a lot besides this for the local community. We appreciate that. We appreciate you coming on the show today, and thanks for keeping the parade running.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And that'll do it for season 1 of 15 Minutes with Fuzz. Thanks again to Jeff Szukalski of Jeff Spirits on Main and the West Bend Christmas Parade Committee for joining me today. Also, thanks to all my guests for joining me this past year. And thank you to you for listening. What's next for the show? Well, I'm going to take the month of August off, so no new episodes between now and the beginning of September. I'm going to regroup, spend some more time with the family before Shanna and our girls head back to their respective classrooms for either work or education, respectively. I'll be back with season 2 in September. In the meantime, please listen to some back episodes at 15withfuzz.com or on your favorite podcast player, whatever that might be, Apple, Google, Spotify, good pods. We'll talk to you again in September right here on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. Thanks for listening.